So you want to learn how to make super cool, super hip Roblox clothing? Well, I'm giving you a step-by-step guide, and all you need is your phone or tablet. It's that easy. Let's start. Step 1. Download ibis Paint X. Go to the App Store and download the app. Then head to Pinterest and look for your super cool, super hip shirt. Next, go into Google and search Roblox clothing template. Then you're going to scroll down and click the Roblox Creator Hub link. And then scroll down in this link and you're going to download both the shirt template to make shirts and then download the pants template to make pants. Next, go to ibis Paint and we'll add a new project by pressing the plus button. Here, press import picture and then add in the picture of the Roblox template and then simply press cancel. Now listen up very closely for the next instructions and just follow what I do. So press over here where you have your layers option and then we're going to press the camera. We're going to import a photo of the clothing piece that we're going to be using today. So here is the one that I have and we're going to check it off and press cancel. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm inside the shirt layer and I'm going to switch over to the eraser tool. Then I'm going to go over to the ruler tool, turn on the ruler so that I can make straight lines, and then I'm going to erase the parts that I don't want. And again, I'm using the ruler to make straight lines, change the direction that the ruler is in, and then I'm doing it horizontally as well. And then I want to turn off the ruler so that way I can just clean up any extra bits. After that, I'm going to go into my tools section again. I'm going to press transform and then I'm going to scale it down so that it fits inside the box here. I'm going to check it off because I want it to look like that. Go back into the transform tool, go into perspective form, and then use the dots to scale it in different directions. So I kind of want this to be a cropped style t-shirt, so I'm going to scale it up to that height. And then with the width, I'm going to make the widths go to the edge of the squares here so that it covers all the red spaces. And so now that that's done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer, and you do that by pressing this plus with a double square here, and then you press duplicate. And then I'm going to turn off the other shirt layer by pressing the I button. And what I'm going to do with this shirt layer here is color in all the purple bits because I want to get rid of the graphic because we're going to use it as a single purple space. So I'm going to switch over to my drawing tool, hold down, and then you can control what color you're choosing. So what I'm doing here is I'm choosing surrounding colors near the graphic, and I'm kind of just coloring in. Okay, so this is how I filled in the colors. And what I'm going to do next, I'm going to turn off the template layer and I'm going to switch it to a transparent background so that I can see what I'm doing. And then the layer that I have where I colored over the graphic, I'm going to duplicate it and I'm actually going to put it under the same layer that I just duplicated. And then I'm going to switch over to the top one. And what I'm going to do is some blending out so we can mix in the colors there. So I'm going to switch over to my smudging tool. And I'm just going to smudge away the colors together so that the purples blend in and we can make this a one color shirt without the graphic. Okay, now that I have it kind of blended out, I'm going to switch back into my eraser tool. And then, so where I have the smudged layer versus the normal layer with the coloring, I'm actually going to go to my smudge layer and I'm going to blend it down with my other layer, and then I'm going to use my eraser tool and I'm going to turn on the ruler so that we can get rid of all that extra line stuff. And I'm just going to go down with my eraser. I'm going to turn off my ruler, and I think that looks good for me. So what I'm going to do with this layer is I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to move it down to the bottom and just turn it off for now because I'm probably going to need it later. But I'm going to focus on the one I just duplicated because I'm actually going to flip it vertically, and then I'm going to move it towards the top area. So I'm just going to turn on the middle piece so I can see exactly what I'm working with here. So again, I'm moving this towards the top so that we can cover up that top space, and then we'll get to working on the neck hole. Okay, so that seems to be working good now. What we're going to do next is we're going to blend it in with the shirt part with the graphic. So we're going to press that merge layer down button, and then we're going to get to working on that neck hole. So what I like to do for the neck holes is I like to go into the rulers again and turn on the symmetry ruler, and then go ahead and put that at 50% so that we can have that straight vertical line. So here I have it at 50%, and then what I like to do to get the perfect middle, I like to turn on the grid, and I kind of just eyeball it and just hope for the best that it's actually split right down the middle. And then I'm going to go over here to the neck hole area and adjust my eraser size, and then just basically just try to get a good neck hole that we can work with. So I think that's a good enough neck hole space for me, so I'm just going to go ahead and empty out the insides. I'm going to go back into that one purple layer that we made earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate that layer, and then I'm going to flip it horizontally, and I'm going to adjust it so that we can work on the arms. So we're going to go back into the translate scale, and we're going to translate it on the x-axis, and then we're going to line it up against the arm pieces so that we can have those arms. I'm going to go ahead and stretch this to lower the width, and then for that layer that we were just working with, I'm going to duplicate that layer, and then I'm going to flip it horizontally, and it's going to be here on the other side, but I'm going to transform it so that I can adjust it so that it fits better inside the yellow space. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to duplicate those side layers again, and then I'm going to flip it horizontally, and I'm going to move it so that it is here on the back piece. So with this section specifically, I want it to be an exact mirror of the yellow side, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip it because I want the pattern to continue, so it needs to be mirrored like that. And then we're gonna duplicate it again and flip it again so that we can finish up this back piece. Okay, and that's how we have it for the top half. Now we're gonna edit in this neck hole area here. So the reason why there's that space is because of this layer. We're just gonna, we don't need that layer on, so I'm gonna go ahead and hide it for now, because I might need it later, but I'm just going to hide it for now. Now for the next step, we're going to be making the sleeves. So the way I'm going to be making the sleeves is by getting one of the arm pieces from the sides of the torso, and I'm just going to manipulate it so that it fits into the sleeves part for the arms. So I'm going to go in and open my layers, and I'm going to grab one of the torso side pieces. For example, this one is the one I want to use. And so I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to duplicate the layer, and then I'm going to go into my tools, press the transform scale, and then just move it down towards this area here. And I'm going to check it off like that, and then I'm going to go back into the transform scale, and I'm just going to go into perspective form, and I'm going to manipulate it a little bit so that it just fits correctly inside this arm space with the red. So I'm going to add the sleeves at about this length right here. So now that I did the front part, what I'm going to do is get that upper part in with that blue square area, and I'm just going to simply duplicate this, and then I'm going to flip it vertically, and then I'm going to go back into the transform tool, and then use the translation Y to scale it up or down. I'm going to check it off, and then I'm going to go back in and use the perspective form just to stretch it out and cover all that blue area. Then what you're going to want to do is duplicate this section of your sleeve, so make sure you go into that layer and then duplicate it, and then you're going to want to flip it horizontally, go into your transform scale, and then move it on the x-axis so that you can move it around, and just make sure that it fits perfectly within that square that you're moving it to. go into your layers and you're going to want to merge these two pieces together, and then you're going to want to duplicate the layer and then flip it horizontally, go into transform, and then move it with translation X. And then you're just going to want to simply cover the rest of the arm bits here. So make sure that it aligns perfectly with the space that you want to cover. So once I have one of the arms done, what I like to do is merge all the arm piece layers together, duplicate it, and then flip it horizontally so that it mirrors to the other side. And then I'm going to go into my translation, my transform tool, and then translation X it on the x-axis and just move it around a bit. And so it's kind of an exact mirror of the other side of the arm. So now that our shirt is basically complete, the next thing we're going to be doing is adding shading. So to add shading, first off, you want to go into your layers and add a new layer so that we can start the shading on a brand new layer on top of everything. So just simply press the plus to add a new layer. Then go into your tools and make sure you are on the brush tool. On whatever color you on, make sure you go into your colors and turn it down all the way to the black. And then you can change your brush size to about 13. Then go into your rulers, turn on the symmetry ruler and make sure it is at 50% and that it goes straight down the middle of the template. And then you can turn on your regular ruler so that we can make straight lines. So what I'm going to do here is start making vertical lines in between these parts like so. Now that I've done vertical lines, I'm going to do horizontal lines next. Now that I've finished this general area, then I like to move into the back without the symmetry ruler on. And then that completes the marking for all the shadings. Then you can go in and turn off your rulers, go into the layer and bring down the transparency so you can see what's behind that. And then we're going to go in with our eraser and kind of clean up around the spaces that went out of the shirt lines. So in this part, I like to turn on my symmetry ruler again and turn on the regular ruler and then start erasing the areas that go out of the shirt. Okay, so this completes the shade marking process. I'm going to turn off all the rulers that I have on, go back into the layer and bring the transparency back up to 100. Then we're going to go into our tools and press FX filter, and here it will give us a bunch of different filter options, and go into the blur section and press the Gaussian blur, and then here you can adjust the radius for how you want the blur, how strong you want the blur to be. And then it kind of gives that shading effect that we want to have for our shirts to add dimension. So I think I'm going to put it at about 26 pixels, and then that would complete our shirt creation process. Now the next step that we're going to be taking is saving the shirt image. So to do this, go into your layers and go down to the template layer and turn it off so that we have the transparency background. To make a transparency background, you see the background options here, and we have light transparency or dark transparency. The color doesn't matter, just make sure that the background is transparent. Go into this arrow here to start the saving, press save image, make sure the file type is PNG, and make sure that transparency is turned on, press OK, and then the image saves to your camera roll. Now let's move into the uploading process. So before we upload our shirt to Roblox, we're going to go ahead to Google and search dripsoles.com. Using this website, we will be able to preview our clothing before we actually upload them to Roblox. Click on clothing, press upload shirt. So now that we uploaded our shirt for preview, we can see that it looks good like this and that it's ready to be uploaded to Roblox. We can upload clothing straight from our phone. Go to roblox.com in your browser and then press continue in browser. It takes you to Roblox. Press create and you are in the creator hub. Here in this section, it will have you choose where you want to upload your items to. So you can upload them straight to your creator catalog, or you can upload them to any community you have. So I'm going to upload them to my clothing group. I went ahead and switched that. Then press these three lines on the side. Go to creations. Go to avatar items. click on classics because we're uploading a classic shirt. For a classic type, click classic shirts. Then you can press upload asset. Here in the upload section, press upload and upload the shirt that you just made. Click a name for your shirt, so I'm going to call this one purple. And then you can also add a description. And you are going to need 10 Robux to upload a shirt, so you need at least 10 Robux in your account, and then simply press upload. Then once you finished uploading, you can go back to the item and click it so that you can have it on sale. Put it to whatever price you want and publish item. And that's it, you guys. Those are all the steps to creating and uploading a clothing item to Roblox.